National Vice President of the Fraternal Order of Police. He's Joe Gamaldi. Hey, Joe, it's always great to have you on. By the way, congratulations on National Police Week. Joe, we're going to show this wild video out of Chicago, a mob of teenagers rampaging on the tops of city buses and cars, and it happened just blocks away from the Illinois governor mansion. No arrests made. What do you think of this?
Oh, it's terrible, Liz. You know, what we're seeing is just a complete culture of lawlessness in this country. And it's thanks to woke politicians who have literally destroyed our criminal justice system. And in addition to that video, we had 2 mass shootings in Chicago over the weekend with 12 people shot. And a disturbing video out today where someone shot on the sidewalk and there's a little child with his backpack running away, just trying to get home safe. And the sad part is, we don't have to live like this. We have idiotic politicians like Mayor Lightfoot, who, by the way, is tweeting out a call to arms over a SCOTUS decision. Meanwhile, she presides over a veritable war zone. I mean, my God, the irony of it all. I mean, she's incredibly and disgustingly out of touch with her community. She's a disgrace to Chicago, and should frankly resign. And
there's this tiny little ice cream shop in the San Francisco Bay Area. It was hit with a Black Lives Matter defund the police protest when they had an ice cream with a cop event. This is in Richmond, the Richmond neighborhood. So you see these protests breaking out on the spur of a moment. And then you've got Americans, they're trying to show their support for cops nationwide, but we still see, the push for defunding police. Policing is way more dangerous since 2020. Joe, isn't this reversing improvements we saw since the 90s?
Yeah, absolutely, Liz. I mean, here we are trying to reach out to the community. We have protesters showing up. The community is trying to support us. We're trying to bridge the gap. But I don't think people have any idea of just how bad the violence is against law enforcement. We're about to have our Police Week ceremonies this weekend. We're adding 563 names to that monument of officers who have lost their lives, families ripped apart.
Since
2021 was the deadliest year for law enforcement in 20 years. We've had 132 police officers shot already this year.
Okay.
That's outpacing last year's historic numbers. It's not slowing down, and ambush attacks are up 30% against us.
Talk about the 500 number you just said. What is that number for, and since when?
That is for 2021. We have 563 officers who were murdered killed in the line of duty. That could be gunfire, knives, traffic accidents, COVID-related deaths. Every single one of those is a family that's going to have to recover from that. And I just don't understand right now what we're doing in this country. That's not the leading story on all these news networks. And, I thank you, Liz, for covering this, and Fox Business. But where are the rest of the networks to cover the increase in violence against law enforcement? This is a complete stain on our society. This is horrific, and yet it's not even getting coverage. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. We need to make sure that this is front and center for everybody to understand that law enforcement is under attack in this country. We have academics and politicians who sit their ass safely behind a desk telling me my job's not dangerous while I'm out there on the streets.
And, you're right. I mean, the cops are confronting COVID-19 and getting sick themselves. Let's listen to what Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder had to say about what's going on Fox. He said this on Fox and Friends. Watch this.
The 2 memorials that I go to will sit here in Albany and sit in Washington, D.C., the same place where our lawmakers are supposed to be writing laws that protect the people, protect law enforcement. But instead, they're writing laws that are protecting the bad guy. And that's the problem we have today in policing. That's the problem we have when you look at law and order around the country. They're all suffering because if you're not backing me and you're not going to defend me, why am I going to come to work? And that's why you see a decrease in those that want to be cops around the country.
Yeah, Joe, what he just said, can you explain and give more color and enlighten us more about that, about how the defund the police movement and weak on crime prosecutors and policies is impacting the force?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just take Harris County, for example, the 3rd largest county in the country located in Texas. They had bail reform, which cost $100 million. We just got statistics out. 80% of people ain't showing up for their court dates. We have rogue DAs across the country who are cutting sweetheart deals for violent repeat offenders. I'm not talking about the guy who steals a candy bar at the grocery store. I'm talking about the people who are shooting people. We should be seeking the maximum and throwing the book at them. We perpetuated this culture of lawlessness, and now we're seeing police officers shot left and right. And I certainly hope that the politicians who show up and pat us on the back are going to follow up with some legislation to protect police officers.
How much are police retirements and police resignations up?
Yeah, nationwide, retirements are up 45%. Resignations are up 20%, and our recruitment is absolutely tanking. Chicago saw an 83% reduction in applications. New Jersey saw a 90%. I mean, I don't think it's hyperbole for me to say to you, Liz, that our profession is dying off. This is not sustainable. We need to turn this around, and it starts with everybody condemning the violence against law enforcement. It shouldn't be partisan, and it certainly shouldn't be politics.
Joe Gamaldi, thanks for your service to our country. Thanks for coming.